In order to run a job on the iJetColor 1175p envelope press, the first step will be to bring the job into the Navigator Digital Front End, or DFE. If for some reason the DFE is not open, what you will need to do is first ensure that the Navigator server is running in the background. Once that has come up, you will then need to locate the icon labeled DFE and open it. The DFE will open in a window of the web browser of your choice, and it is in here that we may run all of the jobs through our machine. In order to drop a job in, there are a couple of different options depending on what you are trying to do with the unit. If operators will be the one dropping the job in, what they will need to do is hit the plus button and then navigate through their file system to locate the sample that they are interested in running. In our case today, we will be running the sample file number 10 grid. Simply double click on the file, allow it to upload and for the job to enter the server, and eventually you will be shown this window here. This is the job editor. On the left we have a preview of the job to be run, and on the right we have a series of options that relate to how it is run. In the Quick Edits menu, you are shown a host of options related to the position and quantity of the job. The preview window exactly reflects how the envelopes will be loaded into the feeder, i.e., right now the lead edge is the left side. This would be running the landscapes in long edge flap first. On the right, you have a 4-directional adjustment that allows you to move it closer to the operator or further, and closer to the exit or further, as well as a 90-degree adjustment. Beneath the 4-directional control are the print options, which deal with the quantity of the job that you are about to run. Test print will run just one page of whatever you're putting through. If you are running a variable data job, it will run the first page. Print all will send the entire job through, and range will let you select a subset of the job to run through. Say, if you are running a 100-page job, but you only wanted to print out pages 1 through 50, you could type 1 through 50. As well, there is the drop-down labeled Quality. The Quality drop-down allows you two options. Production, which will put out a lower resolution copy, i.e. the quality will be a little worse, but it will use less ink and it will print faster. The production quality setting will use less ink and have a higher throughput, but will have lower quality. The high resolution setting will run your jobs through at a higher resolution, but you run a greater risk of running into the pause buffer, which is a phenomenon that will be explained in more detail in the next video. Beneath the quality dropdown, we have the collate setting, which changes the behavior of the printer if you are running multiple copies of a variable data job, and the scaling, which lets you stretch and squish the job in either direction. In the full job editor, we have our options from the Quick Edits menu, but now we have a host of options related to the size of the media as well as the color output. Under the media size dropdown, we have a series of pre-built sizes that we can run. As a general rule, on the 1175p, you will want to run all of your media on the HP default size, as this will give you access to the full width of the head. You can see that on the bottom of the preview window, there is this gray area, and we can move the envelope freely throughout that area without worrying about cutting anything off. Beneath that, we have our color settings. The color settings are comprised of 4 adjustments. The paper profile, which is the heuristic that the RIP uses to calculate ink values, the sliders, the spot color adjustment, and the preserve 100% black box. The paper profiles will all affect how much ink you use and how your colors turn out. Envelopes High Res 1 and High Res 2 are the two profiles which are optimized to be run on the high resolution quality, whereas Production 1 and Production 2 are optimized for running on the production quality setting. Inksaver High Res and Production are designed for being able to print with relatively low consumable costs by using less ink, The trade-off is that colors will be less brilliant. And Color Boost is the opposite of Ink Saver, where it will use up more ink, but in exchange, your colors will be more brilliant and will look better. Of course, this will be more expensive for the end consumer, but if they are willing to pay a premium, these will have better quality. And finally, no color management. No color management will simply print the job however it is sent to the machine. If you have a region of pure black, it will print that with black ink. Next, the color sliders are the 5 sliders which can be used to adjust the colors up and down. The white top slider affects all the colors equally. The slider can be snapped to one of these 9 points. Each one of these points represents an increase or decrease of 7% ink saturation, meaning that at the most you can crank it up by 28% or down by 28%. From there, the bars break down along color lines, allowing you to adjust just the cyan, just the magenta, just the yellow, or just the black. The spot color adjustment will appear only if the job you are running has a built-in spot color, so let us go to one now. Here we are at another job which I have loaded into the unit. As you can see, the spot color adjustment now has this swatch sheet button. When you see this button appears, that means that there are spot colors to edit in the job. If we click this, we can see that there is one spot embedded in the file, that being Pantone 185C, which is a sort of brilliant red. Here is the color loadout as dictated by the original graphic designer and embedded into the file. We have complete control of how this color comes out. If we wanted to, we could change the color to straight pink, and it would come out printing only magenta ink. You have full control over the spot colors when operating the iJetColor RIP. If you get too far off the beaten path or want to return to the original color balance, you may do so by hitting this square. If for any reason you need to become more particular with your spot color editing, you may click on this wide format printer icon to bring up the swatch sheet editor. The swatch sheet editor lets you pick 2 different colors at once and generate a swatch sheet detailing different concentrations of those colors in different versions of your spot. By default, it will pick the 2 most saturated colors in your spot color. Because this is a red, our 2 most saturated colors are the magenta and the yellow, but we can easily change these to black and blue, change these to black and cyan by clicking on one of the bars and selecting our new colors. In this way, you can generate swatch sheets and carefully narrow down what color balances go where. Once you think you have a good swatch sheet to print out, you may simply click on the wide format printer to send it out. By default, the swatch sheet will print on 2 landscape number 10s, however it may also be printed on letterhead or portrait number 10s. Finally, we have the Preserve 100% Black button. The Preserve 100% Black button will change the behavior of the RIP when it is printing regions of pure black ink. Under normal operation, unless you are on the No Color Management paper profile, all blacks will be printed out as 4-color blacks. These come out as being darker and richer and a better output. However, if for some reason you need the RIP not to do that, clicking Preserve 100% Black will dial back this behavior quite a bit, so that your black regions on the page are primarily comprised of black ink. It is worth noting that there is no way to get pure black ink without changing to the No Color Management setting. With these settings, you should be able to import jobs into the RIP and modify them to your liking.